Hey guys! So this week's video is going to be about time management, study skills, living a balanced life, and also body image and how that kind of ties into the other different aspects. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to go ahead and talk about is study skills. When I went to college, the main thing I was wondering is like, how does this workload compare to what I've already done in high school, and am I going to be able to manage that or not? So I'm here to tell you, yes, you can do it. The biggest difference that I have kind of found with that is that in high school you do a lot more like smaller things that add up to be a less of a percentage of your grade, whereas college you do a lot more like writing papers and like projects and stuff like that, which are like larger portions of your grade, and obviously that's going to vary a little bit between classes. For me, I've always been pretty good with how to study, and like I think the biggest thing in general is just like to know yourself. What works for you might not work for somebody else. I don't really think you need to ask other people like, how are you studying for this, or like whatever, because you know yourself best. Also, like if you know you don't do well studying with a group, don't put yourself in that situation. I personally cannot study with a group at all, so I always turn that down, even though, you know, it can be fun, but usually for me it ends up being more of like a party than studying. Another thing that kind of goes with this, make time to study. Like, it sucks, but you have to do it if you want to get a good grade in the class. I kind of touched on this in my Instagram story a little bit. One thing that would drive me absolutely crazy at school is I would like get done with like this really long day. It started at 8:30 and like get done at 4:30 after work and class all day. And then I would still have like 3 more hours of homework in the library, which that sucks. But like by the time I was finished, my friends, like they had already finished their entire days and like whatever. And then they would like watch movies, take fun shower parties, and I would have to go sit in the library for like 3 hours. So not a big fan of that. So that would like drive me insane, because I'm like, why do they get to relax and like have fun while I still have to write 7,000 papers? But you have to realize that like everyone is on their own schedule, everyone's on their own time. There's different between majors, like you're gonna have different workloads and stuff. It's realizing, first step, that every single person is an individual. That's huge. You need to hold yourself also accountable for studying time. If you know you have a huge project coming up, like don't procrastinate. I know it's like so annoying and it's so easy to like fall into that trap. Yes, I am a victim of the procrastination, but it's so important that you just like don't put stuff off, because you're gonna end up like pulling late nights and stuff, and you just don't want to do that to yourself, because that's not healthy for you. That's not healthy for your body or your mind or like anything. It's just overall terrible situation, so just don't do it. If you have trouble holding yourself accountable for studying, make appointments with other people. I don't mean necessarily if you know you're a terrible studier with other people, you don't have to study with other people. Schedule times to have dinner with your friends so that you know you have to go study before that or after that. Make it your job to make time for studying, because if you don't, you're kind of done for. Like, you really, really need to do that. One big question I got asked was, how do you have time to balance your social life and your schoolwork? So you can definitely balance school and social life. The thing about being away at school is that like every day is like, I don't want to say every day is a party, but like every day there's people coming in and out of your room. Every day there's going to be unexpected things that pop up, and you can't always plan, which is really frustrating, especially for me. I don't like that stuff, so I would have like frequent anxiety attacks because like people would come into my room when I wasn't anticipating them to, and then I'd be like behind on my schedule. Remove yourself from the situation. If you know people frequently come by your room, like study elsewhere. Don't set yourself up for failure. But as far as like balancing social and schoolwork, again, it just comes down to a scheduling thing. Like, you have to know when to say no and when to say yes. Don't overschedule yourself. This also comes in with the time management thing. There are gonna be weeks when you literally are so busy, you're so tired, you get so exhausted, and you've just been going. You have to schedule time for yourself also. Like, just as important are grades and everything, so is your own health. Be well. Don't just be well by eating good foods or going to the gym. Like, be mentally stable, because like that is so key. Another thing with this living a balanced life stuff, go to bed. Like, but this was such a hard thing for me also to do this year, is I would find myself up at like 2 a.m. for literally no reason. There's no good reason to be on Twitter till 2 o'clock, doing Instagram stuff until 1 a.m. Stick to a schedule. You need to go to bed at a decent hour, or you're gonna be exhausted and you're gonna be mean the next day, and that's just fun for nobody. Also, I get questions a lot about like, should I schedule an 8 a.m.? How does scheduling work? Scheduling is gonna be different depending on what school you go to. My advice regarding 8 a.m. classes is just don't take them. Just don't do it. I found that no matter what, I would always end up going to bed at the same time, whether I had an 8 a.m. the next day or an 11 a.m. So I would always go to bed around like 11 or 12 every night. It just sucks to have an 8 a.m. class when you've stayed up the same amount as you usually do. Unless you're like a really big morning person and you want to get it out of the way, like I just vote you don't. And there's going to be circumstances where like you can't avoid it, honestly, like you just can't. So sometimes you will have to take the 8 a.m., but I just recommend don't do it. I use a planner and it really helps me. If you're not a planner person, don't pretend to be. You might never ever be a planner person, and that's fine if you're just winging it, but it really helps me to write it down. At one point in the year, I actually would write out on just like a plain sheet of computer paper my schedule for the week, so I would know when I was working, when I had gaps in my schedule to go study, when I had gaps in my schedule to work out, that type of thing, and that really helped me. And then I would use my planner for more detailed things like assignments I had due or like group meetings that I had and stuff like that. Another question I got was, is there time for everything? There is time for everything if you make time for everything. But you have to be careful not to overwhelm yourself because you don't want to like burn out, which is very possible and also very common. That's why, again, I say just like make a schedule and stick to it. I cannot count on my hands how many times I had to say, no, I have to go study, to my friends going out to get ice cream, or my friends having a movie night, or my friends doing blah blah, because I am just like such a busy person. But it also like sucks because, you know, you have fear of missing out, which is like the realest thing ever. But my biggest advice really is just schedule. I would find time in my schedule to like do anything besides study at school. I would have like these big plans to get this paper done and this paper done and this paper done all in one day, but I would procrastinate by doing other things. I would do my laundry, I would clean my room, I would do the dishes, like in order to avoid doing something I actually probably should have been doing. One other thing I got asked was my personal study habit. I personally sit in the library and I just crank stuff out, honestly. I'm good at memorizing stuff, so I'll do that. I don't study super far in advance or anything like that. I plan ahead pretty well, so I don't usually end up writing a paper last minute, but every once in a while in college I've become more and more of a procrastinator, so it kind of stinks. So I recommend finding a place and just like make it your space, because then like you can always come back to it and it feels a little bit homier, and then you're more likely to kind of absorb information and remember stuff. I'm pretty sure they found, like there was some study, I heard this a long time ago, students who like learned information in the classroom and then took the test there, they did a lot better on the test or something. So I think just like having your own space and the same space that you come back to over and over again just kind of will help you out a little bit, give you some consistency. So for me, I have like a little corner in the library that I always go to. So working in time to go to the gym and stuff, make sure to plan it. And honestly, it's so good. If you're ever feeling anxious, just like go move, like do anything that you can to just like get some of your little jitteries out. Like if I got super stressed out, I'm just like, I need to go run, and that would help me a lot. Give yourself time to rest. Remember yourself, because at the end of the day, you need to be healthy, and that does not just mean exercising all the time. That means do something you enjoy, read a book, watch a movie, whatever it is. Make your time for that. For example, every like Monday I had an hour gap in between my class, and I made that like my prayer time. Just like find your little thing like that, because I think that really helps me to keep sane. So the reason I tie body image into all of this is because I think like you get so caught up in wanting to like exercise or wanting to eat healthy because you see everyone else, and it seems like everyone, not only their body is like put together, but it seems like people's lives are put together. Even the girl who looks most put together and has everything going for her, she's got problems. We all got problems. We all have stuff going on. So even someone who seems like they have it all figured out and they go to the gym all the time and their grades are a 4.0, like it's not realistic, guys. Like that doesn't happen. There's no one like that. And we're all trying to maintain this perfect image, not only of our body, but of our mind and of our future, that we just like can't stop comparing ourselves, and it's so annoying. So I encourage you to really just sit down and write out some stuff that makes you really freaking awesome. I'm gonna challenge you guys right now to text your 5 closest friends and ask them what they like about you. I'm tired of people talking so negatively about themselves when, first of all, nobody cares. Like, no one's paying attention to what your hair looks like today. No one. Like, nobody cares. I do this all the time. I'll sit and compare myself and I'm like, well, I don't really look that good in that picture, but like she looks really good and like whatever. Who cares? Like, who cares? I sometimes feel like I can't really preach this to you guys because I struggle with it myself. Bottom line of the whole video is you are an individual. You have individual study needs. You have individual ways of doing things, and it's okay that you don't look like the person right next to you. So yeah, this video is just a little bit more casual. I hope it still offered some good information for you. I really want to answer all of your guys' questions. I kind of want to do like a live video soon. I just want to hear from you guys and like see what kind of content you all want to see. I have a little bit of a surprise coming up, something really fun that I'm gonna do. Just things to remember, you are an individual. Schedule, schedule, schedule. Stick to your plans. You have so much uniqueness to bring to the table that nobody else does, so stop freaking comparing yourself, dude. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for you. I hope this video was helpful. I'm trying to keep them a little bit shorter because my last one was like way too long. But I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if there's anything else you guys want to see, and I'm so looking forward to our next circle next week. I have a really cool speaker for next week that I think you guys are really, really gonna like. So stay tuned. We'll catch you next time. See ya.